Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you're watching or listening to this, and welcome to Link Up Leaders, your direct link to leaders in supply chain and e-commerce. My name is Lisa Kinski. I'm your producer and co-host, and joined as always by Francois Jeffrey. Francois, how are you doing today?
Feeling better than I did
Good.
earlier this week.
Good.
But I feel like I still sound a little nasally.
Only a smidgen, but
Okay.
I don't know that anybody who didn't know you would be able to tell. So it's mainly just like that you sound low energy, that you sound like you don't feel tip top.
Yeah, I have coffee to fix that. So slowly but surely I'm getting there. Hopefully midway through this podcast I will have all the
Just
energy
like
back.
snap in.
Exactly.
Just have Kate do for you what Norm's wife does for him. Just like bring endless cups of coffee
Endless cups of
throughout the
coffee.
live stream.
She is working from home today.
There you
How are you?
go. Or you know what? Have Luna bring you a cup of coffee. She likes to be on the show.
Maybe we'll see some appearances from Luna today. How are you
I
doing?
would love that. I'm good. I thought I had more of an update. I have nothing. It's the first day of October, you guys. Happy spooky season. I'm just really excited that I can start getting into all of my my festive Halloween mugs. Yes, I have. A single woman living alone, have like no less than 50 coffee mugs in my apartment. And most of them are themed for various holidays, and I'm really excited that I get to start using them. You're going to see a new one all the time. And this background will change on our next podcast.
Yes.
We're going to get spooky, y'all.
Nice.
Get ready for that.
No more jungle. No more Amazonian women.
Well, we're going to do a festive thing, and then I need to get a new, like, solid situation because this blown out nonsense is not helping me. And I'm only going to get paler as it gets colder. And I'm going to disappear.
As the sun goes away.
As the sun goes away, I'm going to disappear. Before we bring on our guest, I just wanted to invite everybody, if you're watching live, go on ahead and say hello in the comments. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, happy spooky season, even though you're probably going to hear this in December. Happy Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, all the things. Go on ahead and rate us 5 stars. Let us know what you guys think. So today, let's go on ahead and jump straight into it, because I think this is a really timely conversation for the season that we're going into, right? So it's October 1st. We're fixing to hit, it's first day of Q4, and you sent me something yesterday. Admittedly, I didn't read it. I went straight into Christmas mode, but you were like, this is super scary stuff. What else going on with, like, shipping and inventories are going to get really, really difficult, and folks are going to have a hard enough time getting enough inventory for those listings. And then they may potentially have issues with their listings. So today we are talking with John Cavendish with Seller Candy, and we're going to talk about how to solve all those really difficult Amazon issues with listings getting removed, how much it costs, all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and welcome him. John, welcome. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good, thanks. And for once, it's nice not to be the palest person on the podcast. So I actually, I changed my lighting specifically so I wasn't so yellow afterwards so that we match.
I am happy to oblige.
Well, I'm English, so I'm as pale as it goes.
I should be tanner I did like the not 23andMe, but I did one of like the genetic background things, and I'm nearly 50% Italian. I should be darker. I live in the South.
Do you get darker, or do you get, because I know Kate's family's Italian and they get like golden when they get tan.
Where in Italy, doesn't it? Like northern Italy is like middle Europe, and southern Italy is like Mediterranean.
Yeah, that's a good point. So my family's originally from Florence. I don't get anything. Francois, you've already seen me at my darkest. Yeah. Everyone on this podcast has seen me at my tannest, and it gets paler and paler even from here. So get ready, you guys. I'm going to glow. Well, John, thank you for calling in. And it is evening where you are. It is 8:30, you said, p.m.?
Yeah, 8:30.
Wow. Thank you so much for joining us so late.
I'm in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam.
Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. You need to go check out some of our factories over there. How is the COVID situation down there right now?
He was just telling me they're opening back up.
Okay. They are very, very slowly opening back up. Today was the first day that we actually got to leave the house in like 6 weeks or something, apart from like 10 minutes at a time. Like, it's crazy.
And what did you do on your big day out?
I took my wife to get a visa so that we can get out of Vietnam.
Ah, yes.
So we went to apply
Important
for a UK
business.
tourist visa. Yeah. So went for a nice like scooter trip around town, sat outside a coffee shop while I waited for her, and then came back, and that was my entire day out.
Gotcha. And have you guys at least been able to like, because I know in certain countries it's been like you're inside, nobody's doing anything, no gallivanting about, but everybody would get like a 2 hour allowance every X amount of time to like go to the grocery store or if you had a doctor's appointment. Did you have kind of those leniencies at all?
Not in the last 5 weeks. It's been like complete lockdown. They had like a stay-at-home order where you had to stay in place wherever you were for the next. It was supposed to be 2 weeks, then it got extended, and now they're finally opening up again. It's really crazy.
Gotcha. Wow. And how did you make your way over to Ho Chi Minh? Because you said you're from England originally.
Yeah. No, not from Ho Chi Minh.
I didn't think so. Well, we had a conversation.
Sure.
We had a conversation with Chloe Thomas, and before we talked, Jack and I tried to figure out, okay, like what is England, what is Britain, what is the UK, what are all the things we didn't.
Our dumb American questions.
Yes, it's ignorant American questions.
Where is England? Yeah, so I was that's a hard question. 6 years ago, I was like doing the Amazon business. I wanted to meet cool people and travel the world. So I went to some conferences like in Bangkok, met a cool group of people who were in Saigon, and I really, really wanted to come to Saigon. So I was kind of on the way there anyway. So I met this really cool group of people, moved to the city, and then, time just passes. And I met my wife, and then 3 years passes, and now it's like 6 years in, which is really, really crazy. I expected to stay here for like 6 months to a year.
Is there a big Amazon community in Vietnam?
I'm not really sure because I hang around with like, when you've been somewhere for a while, you hang out with different groups of people. So I'm a member of like Entrepreneurs Organization here and Dynamite Circle. It's like a group of location-dependent entrepreneurs. So I mostly hang out with those groups of people. And then my wife knows a lot of party people. So those people.
A lot of party people. Someone has to have a good time. Well, let's dive a little bit more into your Amazon background. And I know you mentioned that you yourself were an Amazon seller. That's why you went to the Amazon conferences, of course. How did that start? What products do you want to tell us about? And what was sort of the process there?
So like I just wanted to make money online originally, like 7 years ago, I guess. I just like, what can I do to make money online? And I try, blogging, and I'm a terrible writer, or like making YouTube videos, and I'm not my thing. So I heard about FBA and I thought, wow, this sounds like a really cool business model. I can see how it would work. And I was an engineer at the time. I had nothing to do with products, nothing to do with anything. So I bought Amazing Selling Machine back in 2015, did the course, launched a few products, and everyone thought it was too late to get into Amazon back then. It's past the time, it's too late to get in back in 2015. And it turns out, now everyone looks back at that like it was the easy days.
The golden days.
The golden days, yeah. So I launched some supplements originally and grew up like quite a big supplement brand in Europe on Amazon. Then we sold most of that. And then I did some like viral products with my friends. We did weighted blankets. Back in the day when it was a good business. No one should sell weighted blankets now. But we sold like 100 Ks worth of weighted blankets in the first 14 days of the listing being live. Like it was a crazy journey selling weighted blankets. But after that, all the Chinese sellers came in, destroyed the marketplace, and it's nowhere near as cool as it sounds. When you look back on it, it's like we did not make millions of dollars out of blankets. But it was a cool experience. Then, fast forward a little bit through my journey, I got a bit sick of selling products, and I went to a lot of Tony Robbins events and decided that, what I want to do is impact people. And I started an agency, like a full service Amazon agency, which me and some of my guys ran for a couple of years. And then out of that came Seller Candy, because I realized that when we're talking to people, like everybody had the problem that they hated dealing with Amazon support. Like no matter whether they wanted full service, whether they were just marketing manager, whether they were someone on their own, dealing with seller support was like the worst part of having an Amazon business. So we basically spun that out of the agency. I sold off all the agency clients. And then for the last nearly 2 years now, we've been really focusing on Seller Candy, which is just helping people with seller support issues and becoming like an expert virtual assistant that you just tell us what you want to do, and we'll do it. As long as you can raise a support case about it, we'll do it. Take it off your hands.
Wow. And I'm glad that you brought that up because we talk about Jack a lot. We should probably introduce him one of these days on the show. But he, as the consumer, returns something to Amazon, and he just comes into work yesterday morning. He was like, "Good morning. Amazon's got the best damn support team." And I immediately knee-jerked and was like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "No, like I had to return a thing." I'm like, "Oh, I forget. You're not an Amazon seller. You're using it as a consumer. Of course, that was awesome. But for the sellers, I know that it's different." How did you come up with the name Seller Candy?
That's a great question. Like, it's because we do things like it's like a productized service. So we decided that everyone has little tasks, so little bite-sized tasks. So like, little pieces of candy. And we wanted the word seller in it. So it was like Seller Candy. And then also we make our sellers' life sweeter,
Cute.
So cheesy though. But basically bite-sized tasks, and everything we do is like a little bite-sized level.
That's adorable. And I love y'all's website because the whole candy theme is like in everything. I think it's adorable.
In everything, yeah.
But
see everything in our Discord as well.
It's like the attention to detail is fabulous. I love it.
So what exactly, how does this work? I guess, does someone just send you what they need done and then you personally do it? Or you have a team?
That's me, yes. It's not me.
John's doing everything.
150 accounts, just me. That's why I'm
and
still working.
And he has time for podcasting. And
But like, what sort of tasks can people send you? And how does this process work?
Sure. So the way it works is we have a portal. So rather than communicating, via WhatsApp or via email, we actually have a custom portal that our users log into. And it's like a project management portal because, as e-commerce sellers in the past, we're not that organized necessarily. So we help organize our clients by giving them a nice portal. They log in, they log the outcome with us. And then it's just like you'd submit to Seller Central, except once you submit it to us, you know that we will do whatever it takes to get to that result. So we'll create flat files, we'll create cases, we'll call Amazon, we'll legally coerce Amazon. We'll do whatever it takes to, not that, but we'll do whatever it takes to get to the result. And like, we're on your side. We give you the Seller Central experience like you'd always wanted from having a helpful person on your team.
Gotcha. And what are some of the most common requests that you guys are getting, or some of the most common issues that you see sellers running into that they reach out to you for help on?
So everything from the really basic stuff, like I want to update content on all my listings, but it's not propagating to the front end, and I waste time going back and forth with Amazon all the time, trying to actually get them to update it, or merging ASINs or merging reviews, up until like ASIN suspensions. Amazon's taken this down. I can't figure out why. Writing appeals. Like, when you subscribe to us, we can help you with either the really basic stuff, which frees up your time, or the really scary, annoying stuff, which is like, am I going to lose this product? Am I going to get it back? And our team is super competent in doing either of those things.
Well, in the theme of spooky season, let's talk about the big scary stuff. I'm going to milk this for the entire month of October. So when you're talking about those listings getting removed, and this is from like a total, I've never sold on Amazon. I mean, Francois hasn't either, but he's been in this a lot longer than I have. Do you get a notification when your listing is suspended or removed? What's the correct vernacular, first of all?
It can be suspended, suppressed. We say like ASIN suppressions or listing suppressions, but there can be so many reasons it's happened. Like it could be competitors, it could be a pricing error, it could be one of Amazon's bots has gone through and flagged you for a new keyword that Amazon doesn't like on their, in their listing, and you don't know why. And Amazon also doesn't know why. If you raise a case, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, you need to submit this documentation," and you'll be like, "But my product's like a training shoe. It shouldn't need like documentation for being like a soap." And they'll be, "Yeah, no, but the system says it needs this documentation." So that's when we come in and we get to the bottom of this, get to the bottom of what the problem is. And then we try and get around it without ever talking to Amazon, because, talking to Amazon is the slowest thing possible. So we figure out what it is from first principles. We fix it on the back end of Amazon. Then we call Amazon and say, "We fixed it, please refresh." And usually that's the quickest way through the problem, rather than, go asking support and getting 8 different agents and 8 different answers as to what the real problem is.
I figure as a seller that, I mean, for one, that has to be so infuriating, but like knowing how I am, I would be logging. I do this even when I just like call the power company and ask a question. I like log what time I called, who I spoke to, exactly what they said to me verbatim. So that if I have to call back, I am that person, sue me, where I'm like, I spoke to Susan on the 30th and she said,
That's awesome. Like if all Amazon sellers were like you, it would be a little bit faster.
but would it even be easier though? Because Amazon's such a big business where it's like, well, I talked to Kathy G. And it'd be like, I don't know who that is. What good does
Which
that
one?
do me? We have 3 Kathy G's. Like,
Yeah, I mean that's why we don't. We try not to just raise random cases and call. We try and fix it first, because if you try and fix it first, you have a trail, and you can raise that to the agent you're talking to on the phone, and then just don't get off the phone until they fix it for you.
gotcha.
Because if you just call them cold, they'll be like, "Oh, I don't know anything about that." We'll transfer you to this team, and they transfer you to that team, and then you just go around in team circles
Yeah.
until you get bored and hang up the phone.
Yeah, I think anybody who's ever been transferred in a customer service phone tree knows that that is like the kiss of death. It's like your issue's not getting fixed. Second you get
Yeah.
transferred. Game over, guy.
You just have to start can you ask for managers when you do call seller
You can ask for
support?
the captive team. Captive team's the best people you want to go through to. They're the ones that can actually do the most. But you need to know what you're asking for when you get through to them. So you need to know the result you actually want, what they call it, and know your outcome before you get on the call. Otherwise, they're going to spend forever investigating as well, and you're just going to spend hours and hours on the phone.
Gotcha. I liken that to working with IT teams, because if you don't know, in my experience, not necessarily with Noviland, with my previous employer, if you didn't know exactly what the issue was and exactly what you needed to happen in their terms, it would take forever to get done. And you'd come up with 3 other solutions on the way. And it's like, that's fantastic. Thank you for making my computer faster. It still won't turn on. I need, like that's counterintuitive, but yeah, so listings. So you guys help with getting things reinstated, I guess would be the correct term, right?
Yeah, that's a good term.
So
That's about right.
what is the average? Is there an average like turnaround time between a listing getting suspended and reinstatement?
It's kind of how long is a piece of string with Amazon. It could be, if we're already with the client and something goes wrong, we'll jump into it next day, and it might just be that we write an appeal and it's back in 24 hours or less. But it could also be they come to us and they've tried everything, and then we are there to save the day. So so to speak, and then it can take anything from a week to 3 weeks to 48 hours. It's kind of how long is a piece of string, and it depends on the issue.
And I'm sorry, continue.
No, I was just going to say, to be honest, we do all this stuff, but as well, we're just there to support our clients. So we're not really just an emergency response service, although we can be. We're there just to make their everyday life so much easier, rather than hiring a VA work with us type thing.
Gotcha. And if they do have a listing that's suspended for, 24, 48 hours might not be as big of a deal. It's not great. It's money missed out on. But if it's suspended for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I mean, they're missing out on a significant amount of money. I mean, how much can listing suspensions and some of these bigger issues cost? Yeah, seller. Well, that's another how long is a piece of string question, right? How much is your product worth? How much do you usually sell? Blah, blah,
How
blah.
much is selling a day? Yeah, it depends.
But what are some of the other implications that come along with it? Do you get a fine from Amazon if they suspend a listing? Do they have a 3 strikes and you're out policy? I mean, what happens when you have a listing suspended? Can you walk us through kind of all of the processes? We could be here all day, I assume, but
that made me think of the US prison system. It's you get 3 minor suspensions, and then they put you in Amazon purgatory for the rest of the time.
Is that what happens?
No, it's fine.
Oh.
No problem. You can have as many as you want. You will lose a bit of rank maybe if you go out of stock. If you get suspended when you come back there. You did say something and it triggered something in my mind, and my mind's gone completely blank now.
Oh, it's okay. I can try to repeat it. So whenever a listing is suspended for any period of time, it can cost them a lot of money. What are some of the other things that can happen? Can they get fines or wow, I can't even repeat what I just said. Nobody's here today. No, just I mean, of all the different like courses of actions that the seller has to take, what are some of the other repercussions whenever a listing is suspended or removed or anything like that?
I have it.
Perfect.
Yeah. So one of our clients was came to us because they were in the middle of selling to one of the big aggregators in the space, and so they got their main listing got taken down during the sales process. And this aggregator said that they would, they'll just help them get it back up. And then 6 weeks passed, they couldn't help them get it back up. They were stuck, and so so they brought us in. It was quite a complex issue. It took us, I think, 10 days to solve it, and we got the listing back up. And we have the best ever testimonial from her because it's like, seller Candy saved me millions of dollars. And then she sold it, and now she's a multimillionaire.
That's one of those billboard testimonials.
Yeah, it is. It's at the top of our testimonials page on the website. Literally. But yeah, I mean, that's the big thing, isn't it? It's like lost revenue, ensuring that you have these things properly documented. Because if you want to sell the business, like everyone does at the moment, making sure you know why it was taken down, what actions you took, what reason it was, and documenting that stuff is super important. Because any buyer will ask you for any suspensions, what happened, why it happened, and we help them with fixing that up and also explaining what happened.
And so obviously time is a big factor with a lot of this, but when Amazon sellers are first starting out, I feel that sometimes they do have that time, right? It's maybe more of a side gig. Maybe it's just something they want to really learn and understand before being able to outsource anything. If a seller that's starting out isn't able to use Seller Candy, how do they go about sort of what it sounds to me is you do this root cause analysis of what's going on, and then what outcome can I get from it? How can they go about doing that themselves?
That's a great question. So we have a process for that, which I can share. I think it's like 4 steps. It's all my face. So the 4-step process for doing that is 1. Let's hope I don't forget the steps when I'm going through this. Step 1, ask Amazon. So although I said don't ask Amazon, first step is raise a case and say, my listing's down. Please can you investigate and tell me why? It's like the longest shot ever, but it's the thing that we really need to do. So just so that they start moving, and then we've got some cases to look back on if we call them. Then step 2 is to look at all the emails. So Amazon's hopefully sent us a performance notification or an email so that they can say, this is the reason why we've suspended your product. If we know the reason, awesome, because we got the reason, we can now start fixing it. So usually it's something, on the listing, it's a return issue or something similar to that. So if it's a problem with the listing, then what we have to do is fix the listing without ever talking to Amazon. And the secret way of doing that is to raise a case to Amazon, asking them to enable the category listing report. So you go into cases in Amazon Seller Central, you get them to you say, please enable my category listing report, which they enable, and then you have it for 7 days, and you download that. And that is basically an Excel file, a CSV file with all of your listings in it and all the information in it. From there, you can actually edit your listings in the bulk file or flat file way, so that you can update the content in this listing that's suspended, which otherwise Amazon's completely locked down. So what you do is you'd remove all of the content, well, basically pretty much all of it, anything you think could have triggered Amazon, make it all sanitary, and then upload it back to the Amazon system. And that basically flashes your listings so that if Amazon has flagged anything on it, you don't need to worry now about it getting flagged again. Then that's when you can call Amazon and say, hey, seems to be a problem with my listing. I've removed everything from it. Please refresh. And hopefully your listing comes back. Not always the case.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Sorry, my face was just there, full screen. I was like, wow, what am I thinking?
No rundown this morning, Lisa.
I always give a rundown.
No, she gave me an amazing rundown.
It is quite abrupt, and it is a lot of your face that you're looking at, and it is more difficult, I think, because I didn't realize this, but like when you're a guest, like I can see everybody on the bottom of the screen as well on the top of my screen. It's like I can still see you guys, but when it's just your face and that's all you see, it can be like a little disorienting, a little much.
I'm just explaining to myself exactly how to fix the listing.
But there's such good solid that's like free consulting advice right there. It's like, here you go, step by step on a
Well,
platter.
what about, and I don't want to dive into too many just very particular cases, but I think we worked a lot with PPE, right? And a lot of
Yeah.
times they had these trigger words that just immediately either got it taken down, or you had to do some sort of pesticide test, for example, by the EPA. How do you know which keywords, for example, are the ones that trigger it?
Hey, Nika. Nika's one of our team members.
Oh,
Beautiful. Hi, Nika. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, so if it's yes, so you kind of experience, to be honest, when it comes to certain trigger words. Our team does this all day, every day. And if something has been triggered, we would go through, to be honest, like I said, and remove every trigger word that we can think of just to get the listing back, and then slowly start adding them back in. But yeah, you're totally right, especially PPE around the COVID time, before, especially when the mask testing and the FDA approval came in. That was just such a mess. Like, crazy, wasn't it? People were stuck like holding the bag on millions of dollars worth of masks and all kinds of crazy stuff. So that was crazy. And then, as you said, the pesticides thing. So if you, the kind of trick for that one is, as long as you've got a US company, take the pesticides test. Like, even if you don't sell pesticides, take the test so you can sell pesticides. And then when they flag you as pesticides, it doesn't matter.
Can you preemptively take that test?
Yeah, what's the test?
It's a pesticides test to prove you're pesticide compliant.
Yeah.
No.
Is it like the SAT?
To sell your
What is
shoes.
this?
Well, I think they have
one of our
certain...
guys can take it for you.
Yeah,
experts are taking the pesticides test.
I read a blog, and it was well, first of all, it looked like they had all the answers on it, but they were talking about, like, even if you sold shoes, and for example, you wrote like or
Antibacterial.
Antibacterial. Yeah. And anything that has like bacteria or germ or like dust, even pollen, any of these words could trigger this test that you have to ultimately take for Amazon to be Amazon compliant, or EPA compliant, I think it is, or one of them. But is that test something that your team would be able to do also?
Yeah, so we can support our clients in taking that test as long as they're a US entity. We very recently, in the last few weeks, had a Canadian entity come on board who obviously couldn't take the test because they're based in Canada, and they had 5,000 ASINs flagged for pesticides. So now we have to go through and actually fix them. And fixing them is still possible, but we have to follow the process I just told you 5,000 times. And that's a real pain, super slow.
So what's going on with their inventory during all this time, and their IPI? Is their IPI affected?
These guys specifically were doing FBM, so IPI not affected, but so fulfilled by merchant if anyone's not an Amazon person. But yeah, I mean, I guess that they're just sitting on millions of dollars worth of inventory. Yeah, I mean, that's what you're doing if you can't sell.
I want to give one more shout out to another live stream watcher and listener, longtime friend and fan of the show, Ryan Kramer. Hey, Ryan, happy Friday.
Awesome
John bringing
guy.
the great content as always. Ryan, you know it. We've got the best guests on here, just like you do. I feel like we're just always ping-ponging, guests back and forth between the show. Funny this morning. But no, Francois, that's a great question. How does a listing suspension affect the IPI of an Amazon seller if they're doing the FBA?
That is a great question. It really depends if it was their major seller. If that was like, a huge percentage of their sales, then yeah, it would affect their IPI. But ideally, they've hopefully got their sales across a few different ASINs, and it's not down for that long. So as long as we get back up and we're inventory's pushing through. But yeah, I mean, if the worst thing happened, the worst happens, which is, what Amazon did recently, and massively limits your inventory allowance, and you've got a suspended listing and all your inventory sitting in FBA, it gets marked as unfulfillable. Mm-hmm. Oh, and that's actually an amazing tip. Second pro tip. When you're check your Amazon settings and your unfulfillable settings in Amazon, because Amazon, like 3 months ago, changed the way they manage unfulfillable inventory. And it used to be that all unfulfillable was treated the same. So they gave you 30 days, and then they either sent it to you or destroyed it. But Amazon changed it, so you have two types of unfulfillable inventory now, and some of it only has 7 days before they either destroy it or send it back to you, and it's default destroyed. So go into your settings, FBA settings, click on unfulfillable settings, and then there's an advanced setting in the top right, and check your settings, because we had one of our clients recently who had a load of inventory destroyed because Amazon sent them an email that said 30 days, and then it was already marked for disposal. And once it's marked for disposal, you pretty much know going back. You just watch Amazon destroy your stuff,
So
which is really annoying.
What's the difference? What you said some of it's 7 days and some of it's 30 days now?
Yes, and you're asking me a hard question, which I can't remember the answer to. Maybe one of my team can ping me. But it's unfulfillable and restricted, I believe, but I'm probably wrong right there. But yeah,
Okay.
There's 2 different categories, and I can't remember what the names are right now.
Gotcha. But regardless, go check that setting. So
Yes.
FBA settings, advanced settings, check the unfulfillable settings.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Do it
why
right now.
would they make products unfulfillable? Like what would trigger that particular setting to begin with?
Well, to be honest, your listing being suspended. It's unfulfillable if you can't sell it because your listing's suspended. And once I can see if someone messaged me, stranded inventory removal settings is what it's called.
Gotta love a live stream team.
Someone's watching.
Love it.
Yeah, so you go to stranded inventory removal settings. But yeah, it could be your listing suspended. It could be your products are out of date, or they think your products are out of date. So say you're selling expiration dated products, a customer receives one that's out of date. Hopefully it's Amazon's problem and they've just left one at the back of the shelf. But that's when you need to get them to do a bin check, which is to go and check everything and check that nothing's out of date. Otherwise, they'll move it all to unfulfillable temporarily while they're worried that you're sending out expired goods to the customers.
Now, does this apply when you have an open case with them?
Yes.
It still
applies. Yeah, everything applies until it's closed out. So, Amazon doesn't care. It's all about the timings they've got in their system. So if things are marked, and if you don't think you're going to be able to get it back, make sure you extend the time so they don't destroy it. Or if they're going to dispose of it, you have a certain amount of time after the disposal order is created to cancel the disposal order. So keep a sharp watch on your emails every day. If Amazon creates a disposal order, cancel it and be very careful.
And is that something they just reply back to the email, or there's a button that you click to cancel the disposal?
You have to go into your orders, like manage orders, disposal, cancel disposal order.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, I just imagine Bezos with a big sledgehammer going to everyone's products, just going at it.
I wonder if I could share that. I wonder if I can share that slide. I've got this meme, which it's not really a meme. It's a picture I stole from The Economist, I think, in my which is in my presentation of Bezos as Dr. Evil. Have you seen that one?
No, pull it up.
I could see it. I mean, he's also he built something great, I think, that made a lot of people a lot of money. And from that came amazing services like Seller Candy. Now, at what point should a seller start to consider using Seller Candy instead of handling these issues themselves?
We say that a seller should be doing, and I'm going to pull up this thing if I can find it. We say that a seller should be doing at least 25K a month. Can you see it?
Oh my gosh, this is too funny. I don't know why it's just on me.
I can't see you guys anymore.
There we go. There we go.
That's
Oh my gosh. This is brilliant. And for anybody who's not watching on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, if you're watching after the fact, go log in, go to this timestamp. It is Jeff Bezos as Dr. Evil, but his smile is the Amazon smile. This is brilliant. I love it.
And yeah, it's credited to Pete Ryan. I don't know who he is, but I think it was in The Economist, and I just thought it was amazing.
Oh my gosh, that's
good. So 25,000, and that's across the board for all their products, right? Just as a seller account.
Yeah, I mean, basically anyone that's scaling. So okay. you know, if you've got enough margin to pay for us, our fees are from $497 to $997 a month, based on. I can give you the 30 seconds. Basically, we charge based on an unlimited subscription model. So for $497, you can do one market, and you get us to work on 2 tasks at a time. So our clients submit unlimited things to us through our portal, and then we work on 2 things at a time. Then if you want to do one region, like North America or Europe, it's $697. We work on 3 things at a time. and then 2 regions, 997, and we work on 4 things at a time. So that's how we balance our team's workload and how we get such amazing people and for such low pricing, is because we balance workload through simultaneous tasks rather than saying you have this assistant, but it's going to cost you 3 times the price.
Gotcha. And sorry, just more of like an operational question, I guess. As far as the work dispersion is concerned, do you have kind of a general queue that everything goes into and then a system that shoves them out, or does everybody have like a set list of accounts that they work with?
So from our operational point of view, we have silos.
Okay.
So everyone that we work with, if you work with us in your seller account, we have 2 project managers, and then it gets dispersed out the silo. So it means that you never know as a user whether our team's on holiday, whether our team's here or not. But everything gets done, and we just continuously work through. I can show you if you want, if you're interested.
Yeah,
I can share my other tab.
No, yeah, let's take a look at it. Just because I'm curious, because that's, like we were saying before, like you call the power company. It's like, I talked to Susan on the 30th. She gave me such and such. Let's see if I can do this the correct way this time.
Cool.
There we go. Now we've got big screen.
Yeah, let's walk through it.
Oh, might as well. So,
and for anyone that's listening, we're showing the Seller Candy portal.
Yeah.
So go to our YouTube and watch it.
Nice. Yeah. So here's our menu of services. There's a link at the bottom, and this is also on our website under our menu of services page, and it pops up a list of basically a huge list of everything we work on. I don't know if you guys see that one. No, you can't. Okay, it doesn't matter. So what they do is these are all the tickets that are open. If they're submitted, they've been submitted. If they're in progress, we're working on them. If it's waiting Amazon response, we're waiting for Amazon. If it's awaiting client response, we're waiting for our client. So super simple. And when they submit something to us, they literally just go into our system here. I think it's because I'm on with you. It's slow loading. There we go. And it's super intuitive. So they say, okay, I'm having an issue. Amazon suspended my listing, inactive listing. And it's because of a high return rate. They put the ASIN in here, give us priority. So because we're in the unlimited tasks model, it means that it either goes back of the queue, front of the queue, or this is affecting my revenue, put something on hold and do it right now. So we got back of the queue, front of the queue, do this now. If I put it in front of the queue, our team's going to get pinged right now, and they're going to be like, please stop sending me stuff. All right. Subject is just something that's useful to our client, like suspended bananas. And the description is the outcome. So they just describe the outcome to us completely. They can attach files if they want, our client, and that's it. After that, our team takes care of it and gets to the the outcome of the suspended bananas.
Wow.
And so
they just go here.
Does your team need access to their Seller Central account in order to, I guess, go through this root cause analysis that you perform?
Yeah. So the way it works is once they're on board, we add 2 agents to the account. They have different levels of permissions based on their competence, basically. And once you submit something, it goes into our ticket system. Our silo leader assigns it to one of the people based on their competence. They go into your account, do it all for you, and keep you updated in that 2-way chat in the system I showed you. So they'll never ask a question on how to do something. They'll just say here's an update, or they might say, we have a decision point here. Do you want to go left or right? These are the 2 ways that we can fix this.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we're completely outcome driven, and we've got all ex-seller support agents, super experienced VAs who've worked on Amazon before for 2 to 5 years. So they are all, to be honest, better than our clients, and that's what we want to be. We want to give you an assistant who knows how to solve things you don't know, so that you can get on with doing the strategy, which is the real value add to the business, strategy and marketing.
And every time a new ticket comes in, does your team receive a verbal notification? And James Woods from Family Guy, where he says, "Ooh, a piece of candy," because that would be hilarious.
That would be the number of tickets we deal with. That would be deafening.
Just noise everywhere.
Like that. If you read that Netflix book, the guy who started Netflix, and they had the bell every time they made an order, and after the second day, it was just dinging continuously, so they turned it off.
Funny. Oh my gosh. But something that you've said raised a question for me. So, you said that your team acts as though, they're virtual assistants for the seller, and you're more than an emergency response. You help with like the management and everything like that. What are some of the, how can I ask this question? What are some of the roles or some of the tasks that can be outsourced, taken off of an Amazon seller's plate, maybe if they're a solopreneur, and outsourced to Seller Candy? How, I'm butchering this question. What all can,
Proactively.
yeah. Yes,
Proactively.
proactively, what can be outsourced to your team? Thank you, Francois.
Wow. If you don't mind me sharing another thing, you put us at the side so that we're not
Perfect.
so that I'm not
Let's
stealing the
see.
whole screen again. And 1 sec. There we go.
And again, head to the YouTube channel, folks. Subscribe while you're there. Let's see. Okay. Can you
Like and subscribe.
Beautiful. Yeah, zoom
For
in a
more content.
smidge.
Can you see any more? I'll zoom in some more. There we go.
That's perfect.
So we do basically anything on this menu, and reading it out for people who aren't there is, so anything from inactive listings, listing and store updates, inventory reports, creating promos, account health issues. So if they're resellers, they're going to get a lot of stuff like that. Shipment issues. So Amazon isn't receiving your shipments, or they lose stuff, and you've got just inventory that's stuck, basically. Account management, other issues. And we also do reimbursements. So, basically like looking at everywhere in your business that Amazon's losing money. So whether it's customers that haven't returned stuff, or when they lose it in the warehouse, or when it falls off the back of a truck, literally in the fulfillment center transfer process, and it's just disappeared between your two fulfillment centers. Yep. That's like kind of an add-on service, and we charge an extra percentage on that. But basically although what we do now is a virtual assistant style service, we see ourselves as the platform to do all of this crap in the back end of your Amazon account that you hate doing and adds no overall value to the business. It needs to be done. It has to be done. But, we are the back end platform. So eventually we're going to add anything we can do to support a seller to do all the dirty work they don't want to do.
Gotcha.
And when you say remove bad reviews and feedback, what does that mean?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'll scroll up a bit. So removing bad feedback is pretty easy. So, you click the remove bad feedback button in your seller account, but less than half the time, Amazon says no. And then it's like an ongoing battle with Amazon. Mm-hmm. So as long as it's an FBA issue, you can pretty much get any feedback removed. So then our client would just fire it to us, and then we take over the argument with Amazon. Bad reviews, we can only get bad reviews removed if they violate Amazon's TOS, terms of service. So, it's not about the product. It's about a different product. It's about shipment. So, people are always like, why won't Amazon remove the review? It's about something completely different. And then we just keep hammering them until they remove it. But it does take a little while.
Yeah, I can see that being time consuming. Sorry, go ahead, Francois.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, so can one of the tasks, for example, be for your team to, I don't know, bi-weekly or monthly, just look over the reviews and try to remove any negative reviews? Or
that's a good question.
Contest them?
Yeah, so what we do is when we onboard a new client, we audit their account. So we do a full audit of all the settings in the back end, all their listings, some of their advertising. Basically, although we don't do any actual work ongoing for advertising, we don't do anything strategic or creative. So we don't do ads, we don't do content creation. But we're looking for ways in which their business is losing money. So we're basically looking for profit drains, things they can fix. Yeah, it's a good idea. Things they can fix, and basically ways in which we can add value, and we can give them a list of stuff to give us. After that, we do a quarterly further audit, but we're more reactive. So we want our clients to back up a load of stuff with us, and then we'll do it do one thing after another. And then when more things come up, we're there to go above and beyond. So we want to give our clients the experience they wish they had dealing with any seller support.
And what are the most common ones that you see when you are doing this audit? Or I guess some of the most money guzzling tasks?
Yeah.
Tasks? No, money guzzling.
Settings, so usually, settings Yeah. So the biggest one, which, big one for you, inventory placement service. People that have left that turned on, that's the worst pill to swallow if you've left on inventory placement service with Amazon.
What is that?
What does that mean?
It's the option so that you can send all of your inventory to one of Amazon's warehouses. So rather than splitting it out throughout, where Amazon wants you to send it, you can say, I want to send everything to one warehouse. It makes it easier for me. And Amazon says, we love that. It's 20 cents extra per unit plus extra 20 cents per pound over a certain size. Basically, one of our clients was charged $160,000 over a year for Amazon's inventory placement service.
Oof. But now, I guess that's really where cost analysis would have to be done. Because when you think about, for example, having to send that to 3 different locations, right? And you have to get all that taken to, let's say you bring it in from China on one container. You have to send that to one warehouse. They have to cross-dock it. They have to repalletize it. They have to relabel them. And then you have to get 3 domestic trucks, probably going to the West Coast, down south somewhere, and to the East Coast. So, I mean, really, that's just like a distribution cost analysis that anyone has to do. Is that something that your team can do?
Actually, to be honest, yes, we can. We can support in that. We need the data from our clients, but we have a really good data team. So, if you gave us these 2 sets of numbers, we can produce you an excellent report showing you these cost analysis. In our experience, it's almost never cheaper to use Amazon's inventory placement service, especially if you're using partner carrier. There used to be a hack for partner carrier, which was, if you're using partner carrier, if you reduce it to less than a certain number of pallets, it was a much cheaper fee than if you had, a full truck. So you could split your shipments into smaller pickups, and it would give you a much lower fulfillment fee. That's been a while.
Can your team? I know another big issue is just getting products checked in. I know when we've worked with a few of our clients, it's taking them like 5 weeks, and they're asking us, "Hey, what's going on?" Right? And ultimately, one of the cases was where Amazon stopped physically signing proof of delivery certifications of when you actually deliver the item itself. So the trucker didn't have anything to give us back, but Amazon sent something out to the seller saying that that's the only way that they do things. So it was like this big go around with Seller Central essentially. And the client was confused because they thought, obviously if we're delivering it for them, it has to be there. The trucker obviously didn't just run off with this inventory. He had to drop it off
somewhere. Yeah.
So how does, I guess that's a very particular case, but how does something like that get handled?
So I mean, this is a good example of just something that can be handled over to our team. So, you can give us all the information. You can say, this is what we have. This is what Amazon said thus far. If you've got to this stage, if it was a new thing, you could just say to us, where's my goods? Please follow up and figure it out. But if you came to me and said that, I'd say that's perfect for you to give to us. Obviously, it's a terrible situation, but send us the email, send us screenshots, upload them all to that portal I showed you. Tell us the outcome you want. And then just, although it's frustrating, just give it to our team to follow up on. And we'll figure it out for you.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, it was a case where I think they ended up finding the inventory about 5 weeks later.
Someone just put it in the corner of a warehouse.
Yeah. Because I mean, another thing that I don't think a lot of Amazon sellers realize is that Amazon has different levels of inbound shipments. They have like the LTLs, the FTLs, the container. I don't know if they take containers, but I would imagine they do.
They do. Some of just like floor loaded from their Chinese, straight from China.
They accept floor loaded containers.
As far as I understand, from Amazon Logistics China, if you ship then, as long as you ship a single size type, so oversized or undersized, I think you can do floor loaded directly into Amazon. I believe.
And then they have small parcel. Is I think the last one. And each one has different check-in processes. And so it could take one of them, let's say they're really backed up with LTL, you might want to consider doing small parcel for whatever however you would actually figure that out. It's kind of like a too late case. But I guess when it comes to the inventory management aspect, does your team also audit when it comes to like stranded inventory or I'm just thinking more ways to improve IPI on the supply chain side, because I think that was a big topic of conversation in 2020 with Amazon just saying it's going to be this number. No, we'll drop back down. Who knows what they're going to do, after this holiday season? Because logistics is the technical term of crop shit right now.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the technical term is fucked.
I thought that was a little too intense. I was going to say that.
It's Friday.
It's Friday. So I guess, can your team audit that continuously? Is that a task that you can outsource to you?
Sorry, my dog's just getting up.
That is okay. I told you, we are welcome to any furry interruptions. I'm surprised we haven't seen Luna yet.
Doors closed, she's meowing.
So yeah, we can do an audit. We can, oh, she's so cute. I'll show you in a minute. We can do an audit of, I got distracted now. We can do an audit of what's going on. So if you have got a low IPI, or you want to see what's holding an IPI back, we can run all your inventory reports, figure out, what's been stored the longest, what your inventory velocity is, and what's holding it back. And we can also produce you, our clients, a weekly inventory projection. So we can actually help balance between, depending on number of SKUs, their 3PL, Amazon, and even their manufacturer, produce them a template and then import the data once a week so that they can actually, project how much inventory they're going to use. This is like a lower level than something like So Stocked, or, someone who's got a big piece of software. But a lot of our clients sit in the 40 to 200K a month range with, less than 30 SKUs. They don't necessarily need a super robust inventory projection software, but also they're growing like crazy, and software doesn't necessarily take into account exponential growth. So we can help them both those ways of small SKU counts, but really getting into the nitty gritty and like, this is what the data shows.
That's awesome, because I know we're talking very Amazon specific tasks, but this affects their entire business when it comes to forecasting. And right now, I think more than ever, that specifically should be at the top of every Amazon seller's mind, with, container costs being 500-600 times or percent what they were before. I was going to say
600 times.
That would be insane. But also lead times taking significantly longer, and thinking about holidays. We're in Golden Week right now. They're, manufacturers aren't going to be responding to them for the rest of this week, most likely. Chinese New Year's coming up. I think a lot of times Amazon sellers don't properly forecast out through, just sustaining through Chinese New Year and having inventory typically until like April, May, which is realistic. If they place an order in December, factory's probably not going to pick it up until after Chinese New Year. Let's say a 30-day production plus another 30 days on the water. It's not going to get there until April, May, at least. Then whatever issues Amazon has at that time. No, that's amazing. And shout out to Chelsea. She's doing awesome things at So Stocked also.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, their software is great. And we just do a very, very basic version of what they do.
The Excel version.
Actually, we're building up a really cool interactive Google Data Studio version. To make it more, so we can build a custom template per client, and then you have access to your Data Studio. We've got the updated date, and then it'll just flash up with your latest, like a more interactive version of Excel.
It's called Google Data Studio?
Yeah.
Google's got
Google's
more
got a lot
damn
of stuff.
Applications than you can
I
shake a stick at, man. I've never heard of, I haven't heard of half the stuff Google has.
I thought I was going to see if I could pull it up, but I don't know if I can.
Well, while
cool.
Let's say while you're looking for that, we are approaching the end of our episode time, unfortunately, and I want to give you, I know we've talked a lot about the service and everything like that, but I want to give you an opportunity to really plug the business and let everybody know where they can reach out to you if they have any questions about the information you shared today, or getting started with Seller Candy, where to find you guys, all of that good stuff.
Sure, Han. I just sent you that. I just shared it so you can see what Data Studio looks like.
Here we go.
So, it's like a super, and I'll zoom in a bit. It's like a super interactive dashboard. So you can like put in, this is a reimbursement dashboard for our reimbursements, but this, you can put in like different things here. This is a demo account. You can put in category, you can put in market, you can put in year. And it's just like a super interactive version of Excel, basically.
Very cool.
That is very, very cool. Yeah.
And you make it look all Seller Candy-esque as well.
Oh, I was about to say, I already clocked the fact that you've got the branded colors down at the bottom.
Everything.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, that's what we do. Cool. Plugging Seller Candy. Well, thank you for asking me so many questions about Seller Candy. I feel like I've been plugging Seller Candy for the last full hour.
It's hard not to. I mean, you guys do something amazing. Sorry to cut you off.
No, thank you. Yeah, I mean, the reason we've been growing so well and growing so fast over the last 18 months is because we've got most of the clients we've ever worked with. 80+% of the clients we've ever worked with still with us, and it's a month-by-month agreement. So, every month we have to show value. And we've just been accelerating our growth and working with some amazing partners like yourself. And just, it's been a really cool journey. And our team is really cool. I think some of them are watching right now. We're up to 30, 32, 33 people now.
Nice.
Growing like crazy at the moment. So yeah, if you're interested in Seller Candy, just check out sellercandy.com. Perfect. Oh, it's even spelled right. Whenever I type it, I spell it wrong. Not on you, on me.
I take no chances. I copy and paste the URLs every single time. I'm not playing around with trying to spell some stuff.
Check out sellercandy.com. You can look through. There's a couple of videos there, one on the homepage and one on the menu of services page. It's like 1.5 minutes and 3 minutes, and it basically goes through what our service is. If you're interested, just book a call with one of our product advisors through the page. You may get me, you may get Nick, our product advisor. He just joined the team a few weeks ago, and he's awesome. So he's been talking to all of our new clients recently. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to either email me. My email is john@sellercandy.com, or just book a call through the link on the website, and more than happy to talk about your problems.
Perfect.
So, thank you.
Thank you. And as always, for everybody listening, that URL will be reflected in the description of the video and of the audio experience. John, thank you so much. This has been awesome. Lovely learning more. And I also just clocked too that your background lighting is also very Seller Candy-esque.
It is.
And do you want to meet my dog?
Yes, of course we want to meet the dog.
Come on. She's like, no, don't pick me up.
Hello.
Yeah. She is adorable.
Cute little fluffy thing.
But she's been on lockdown with us. So tomorrow the spa is opening. The doggy spa, obviously not the real spa. It's opening for the first time in like 2.5 months. So we've been washing and trimming her, which is not going well. She's quite matted. So tomorrow she's going to come back, hopefully unmatted, maybe shorn. And she's actually like a rat. She's like half the size that she is now under the fluff.
Wow.
So I hope she doesn't come back like a giant rat, because when she's wet, she looks funny. Like
totally different.
You're gonna have to send some pictures.
Oh yeah, before and after shots.
Well, before shots, we've got 1,000 of them from my wife. But and she doesn't smell amazing right now, but she looks like a teddy bear, doesn't she?
She does. She looks precious. I always have to be cognizant of the fact, especially like even when I talk to Luna, when I'm talking to a dog through like Zoom or something, that you guys are the only ones that can hear me. The dog can't, so I have to not scream, because that's my innate reaction.
Oh, she's lovely. That's all she does. She just sits by me while I work.
Oh, that's so sweet. You gotta love the fur babies that just want to be around their human. You gotta love it. Well, John, thank you so much. A perfect end to another perfect episode. And if you guys liked what you saw today, please saw or heard. Hey, 5 stars. Give us a thumbs up. Share with your network. Comment with your thoughts. And if you guys know anybody that you think would be a good guest for the show, go on ahead and send us an email. You can email me directly, lisa@noviland.com, or just DM us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We're everywhere, y'all. So go on ahead and reach out and let us know what you think. And no matter what you do, be sure to ring the bell for notifications, turn on those automatic downloads, and that way you're never going to miss a conversation with leaders in supply chain and e-commerce like John with Seller Candy. John, thank you again so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been fun.
It's been awesome. We'll talk to everybody soon.